On today's video, we are going to make a Banoffee Pie Ice Cream in both the Ninja Creami and in the traditional ice cream machine. And for banana ice cream, this one is actually going to contain no bananas at all. Yeah, I've made banana ice cream a couple of times on the channel, not that often, it's not my favourite flavour. I don't mind it. I actually just don't like the texture of bananas. It's a texture thing more than the taste. But before we get too deep into how, need to just turn the oven on to 350 Fahrenheit. We're going to get these bananas in there. So, banana ice cream. Almost 100% of ice cream scoop shops and companies out there do not use bananas in their banana ice cream. They use banana extract. And that is because bananas are bloody expensive. Banana flavour actually comes from the chemical compound isoamyl acetate. This is naturally found in bananas, but can easily be made within a factory environment, and if diluted, actually tastes more like pears than bananas itself. And by roasting the bananas, it encourages the sugars to come to the surface of the flesh, which means that we can actually draw the flavour out of the banana itself. It gives a deeper banana flavour and allows some of that Maillard reaction to take place, which encourages additional flavour notes. You can just buy banana extract. If that's what you want to do, go for it. You know, no problems whatsoever. This is quite wasteful of bananas, but you do get a real banana taste. And I'm not a huge fan of that fake banana flavour. Maybe that's why I don't really like banana ice cream. But once you make it this way, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Now, we're literally going to do nothing to these apart from put them on a baking sheet. Now, these will, in the oven, leak some of that sugar. So you need to make sure you line your pan with something. Otherwise, you're going to have a burnt sugar layer on your baking sheet, and that's really not pleasant to get off. So, bananas on like that. As soon as the oven gets up to temperature, we're going to put them in. Now, a bit more about Banoffee Pie. It's a UK thing. It's spreading around the world. I don't think they have it here in Canada. People do obviously know about it. But Banoffee Pie is a standard pie crust, so a cookie pie crust, a graham cracker, a digestive biscuit, an oat biscuit, anything like that kind of pie crust. With the internet over here seems to say it's a caramel base. It's not. It's specifically cheap ass Dulce de Leche, the stuff you get in a can like this. That is what it is. This is a type of caramel, but it's not caramel. Those people in South America would roll in their grave if you just called this caramel. On top of that is sliced banana pieces. Then on top of that is some kind of whipped cream. And then you can decorate it with, you know, people decorate it with shaved chocolate or more banana or whatever. That is a Banoffee pie. Banoffee, banana toffee. That's where the name comes from. So to start this, we're going to weigh out our ingredients, get them in a pan and get them cooking. What you're going to need for the banana ice cream base is 537 grams of milk. I use 2%. You can use whatever milk you want. 550 grams of cream at 33% fat. You absolutely can use full double cream. You can use 36% heavy cream. It's fine. 240 grams of sugar, 25 grams of either corn syrup or golden syrup or invert sugar, and 55 grams of skim milk powder. In addition to that, you're going to need 3 bananas. They're kind of medium sized, I guess. 537 grams of milk, 550 grams of our whipping cream, 240 grams of sugar. I'm going to take a little container, 10 grams of sugar in there, so that's actually 230 in there, 10 grams in here. Today I'm using special ingredients ice cream stabilizer. Use whatever stabilizer you have, mix, blend, single, cold, hot, whatever. Doesn't make any difference. We're going to use 2 grams. It's a little more than, tiny bit more than normal, but for some reason banana ice cream can feel really cold. In goes our stabilizer with that last little bit of sugar, and finally we have that. So corn syrup, you can either use plain transparent corn syrup, you can use your golden corn syrup, you can use golden syrup. It doesn't really matter. Now I personally prefer to use golden syrup or golden corn syrup. If I can get the lid open, 25 grams. That golden syrup, corn syrup, just adds this another element of flavor to this banana ice cream. Finally, skim milk powder. I'm using a teaspoon and it's $55 grams of our skim milk powder. Right, that's that. Now, if you can't tell, the oven is ready. Bananas are going to go in. They're not going in for long. They're going in for about 10 to 15 minutes. And that is enough to warm the banana flesh through, to start the mild reaction within the actual fruit itself, and to bring the sugars out to the surface along with that banana flavor. So now that we've got all our ingredients in our pan, let's just start to mix this together. You will, as there's corn syrup in here, you will feel that as a lump at the bottom of your whisk. Don't worry about it. It will melt the moment we put it on the heat. So let's do that. On the hob, as we're using a cook stabilizer, 85C 185F. Right, now our ice cream base is on there. It's just gone on, so I don't have to worry about it for a few minutes. And our bananas are in the oven. What we're going to do is look at our graham crumb base. This is our pie crust, if you will. We're going to take a small little doodad. Thank you, IKEA. And we're going to add 200 grams of graham cracker crumb. You can use digestive biscuits in the UK. Hobnobs works really well too. If you don't have Hobnobs where you live, then in Canada, anyway, in Safeway, you can buy these. And these are actually an excellent kind of hobnob alternative. They're a little bit harder, a little bit smaller too, but they've got a really nice smell to them, and they're not the same as hobnobs, but they're reasonably close. Tasty biscuits, cookies. So, get rid of that. 200 grams of our graham crumb. I also love graham cracker. And we need to add some butter to that. Bananas steaming, bananas full of water. So don't stress if you open your oven and there's steam coming out. 80 grams of butter. Melt it in a microwave. Our melted butter in here, and finally is some sugar. And we are just going to add 20 grams, so that's 4 teaspoons. Little spatula. Now, if you want to know why we put the sugar in here, is as you cook this, or as we cook this in the oven, that sugar will melt and create a much more cohesive mix that doesn't break up into tiny little pieces. In goes our butter. You can add a little bit more butter if you want. If you mix this together and you find it's too dry for your liking, add another 5 grams-ish of butter. Doesn't really hurt. All that will happen is that as you bake it, because you're not baking this for long, as you bake it, that butter will bubble up and will make the surface look very liquid, very wet. It's fine. Don't stress about it. Because you're going to let it cool, and then we're going to cut it up. And it will solidify somewhat anyway during that stage. So what we're looking for is kind of that atypical wet sand mix, like that. Little bit of parchment paper. Whoa. Made a mess there, didn't I? So put that in a nice little pan, whatever size you got is fine, doesn't really matter. And then push it down into the pan. Get it nicely compressed, a nice solid block, that's what you want. Our oven is on with our bananas. we're going to open it up. It's going to fill the kitchen with steam. That is okay. And we're going to put this in for about 10 to 12 minutes, at which point they'll both be able to come out of the oven. The bananas are browning now nicely. Just another 10 minutes or so and they'll be good to go. We want the skins basically black. And that tells us that that mild reaction has come to a point that we can taste the difference here. So all I'm going to do now is just continue to stir the ice cream base until it comes up to temperature, and we'll get everything in for the next stage. Right, bananas are out. We're gonna, obviously I said I'd do this in a creamy, but we need to do the steeping stage first. So that will just sit there until this is ready. Into our large bowl goes our ice cream base. And what we're gonna do is we are gonna take the bananas out of here and put them in there. We don't want the skins, so we're just going for the flesh. I will say, these are hot. And the sugar has come out, and if you've ever burnt yourself with hot sugar, you'll know how painful that is. So please be careful. Our banana flesh is in here, and we're gonna leave those in there overnight. Out comes our graham cracker crumb. Doesn't take long to burn this. Don't overcook this, okay? And then once that's cooled down, we're gonna put it in the refrigerator again overnight. And then we've only got one more stage to do. So the next day, the ice cream base has come out of the fridge. It's been steeping for that entire time, and we're gonna remove our banana flesh from our base. They usually stay together pretty well, so you shouldn't have much issues with doing that. I've removed and filled a Ninja Creami tub already, and the rest is going in the machine for churning. Whilst it's churning, we're going to get our cookie crumb base out the fridge and chop that up into small, suitable size pieces. Suitable size, that's up to you. I normally chop them up to about 1 centimetre, 10 millimetres, just shy of ½ an inch kind of size. I find that a really nice size for any kind of ice cream mix. These will be gloriously buttery and melt in your mouth. We're just going to put them in a pot and look at this, what is called Dulce de Leche, Eagle brand canned Dulce de Leche. This looks disgusting. So before we do anything, let's taste it. And yes, it is disgusting. So we're not going to use that. We're going to use actual real Dulce de Leche that's come from South America. As you can see, it's a very, very different thing. The Eagle brand one is basically burnt kind of sugary caramel. It's really not pleasant. Whereas this real Dulce de Leche is much thicker texture, beautiful taste. It's going to go perfectly with this. But it's been in the fridge, so I need to get this loosened back up in the microwave. So we're going to spoon some into this little container and we're going to melt it in the microwave now, because then it's got a good few minutes to cool down before we load up our tubs. Much, much better smell, consistency, taste. Yeah, this is the stuff to use. Please don't use the Eagle brand Dulce de Leche. It's crap. This is good. So in the final stages of churning, we're going to start adding in our little cubes of cookie crumb base. Now that the churn is finished, we're going to start loading up our tub. A spoonful of our ice cream base, followed by a spoonful of our Dulce de Leche, and then a few more pieces of our cookie crumb base before loading up the tubs to completion. Then we're going to pop them in the freezer to completely harden off. So now it's time for the Ninja Creami base. This has come out of the freezer after being in there overnight, and we're gonna spin this up. You can see there's no lump on there. There's no Ninja Creami hump, as it's known. All my recipes work perfectly in your Ninja Creami, unlike the majority of recipes out there. We're gonna get this spun up, and then we're gonna look at dishing this up. So there we go, Ninja Creami and Muso churned Banoffee Pie Ice Cream. So let's get some dished up. Right, let's do 2 spinnies. This is the traditional churned one with the Dulce de Leche and the cookie crumb inside, delicious. And this is our Ninja Creami with the cookie crumb and Dulce de Leche on the top. Again, looks delicious. So there we have it. 2 different approaches to the same ice cream. Obviously in the Ninja Creami, if you put this in the machine and run the add-in, it's literally just gonna disintegrate into nothing. And that's because it's so deliciously buttery. Same with the Dulce de Leche, it would just be decimated into the ice cream. Obviously you've seen me heat this up just to make it pourable. I'll come back to that. I really wanted this one to work. Back in the UK you can buy really quite good Dulce de Leche. I mean, it's incredibly sweet and it's nowhere near as good as actual proper stuff, but for a tin stuff it's really good. But this is really thin and tastes burnt. It reminds me of a caramel flavor that goes in Starbucks drinks. So people have been asking for Starbucks Frappuccino. I'm going to keep this in the fridge, keep this covered, and I will use this in a Starbucks Frappuccino recipe. Which one is better? This is obviously a much more traditionally made. Oh yeah, texture's good. It's perfect banana ice cream. That buttery biscuit crumb in there, delicious graham cracker flavor coming through. The Dulce de Leche caramel cutting through that banana flavor. And that banana flavor is incredible, by the way. Ninja Creami. It's good. It does lack the finesse of the churned one, and it's melting much faster, and that is the insulating factor of the air that goes into ice cream. When you have air overrun in ice cream, those little air bubbles remain insulated within the ice cream base itself, and they stop or slow melting down. When you don't have any air in your ice cream and you get this super fudgy, once the temperature gets to the point where it actually starts to melt, it melts exponentially fast. So it would just melt incredibly quickly once it starts to melt. That's just one of the problems with the Ninja Creami. And a Packagette too, same thing. You know, a lot of people say, is a Ninja Creami better than a Packagette? They're basically the same thing. But you can see that this one is melting really quickly. Doesn't matter, tastes great. Super smooth. I mean, super smooth. I mean, it's -16 outside right now. Let me show you outside. Shit. And we've got another, I think we've got another foot of snow coming today and tonight. So that will equate to, you know, 18 inches of snow out there for this weekend. Perfect weather to be sat down and eating glorious banana ice cream or Banoffee Pie ice cream. It's just all good. Perfect banana ice cream with graham crumb pieces and Dulce de Leche, otherwise known in the UK as Banoffee Pie. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I don't know what I'm gonna do next week. I've had so many excellent suggestions, but there's one that really takes my fancy, and it's not one I've ever done before. So if you want to see what that is, and let me know if you want me to do combo videos like this, Ninja Creami and Churn, or whether you want me to split it up in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.